In November 1944, the American military drove its armor into a freezing, rain-slicked trap. The Hürtgen Forest is a suffocating sprawl of dense pine and deep mud. It is an environment completely hostile to mechanized warfare. Look at this terrain. The American infantry of the 28th Division are pinned down in a claustrophobic, vertical landscape. They are exhausted, entirely exposed in their foxholes, and staring down a 45-ton German Panther tank tearing through the tree line. Major Robert T. Hazlitt screams for his men to fall back. Without immediate support from American tanks, his infantrymen have absolutely no counter to the heavily armored Panther. They will be wiped out in minutes. But the Hürtgen Forest generates an overwhelming amount of friction. The thick mud, narrow paths, and dense trees actively degrade military operations, breaking down men and machines before a single shot is even exchanged. Barely a mile away, help is entirely bogged down. Lieutenant Raymond Fleig is trying to push his platoon of 9 Sherman tanks through the swampy woods to reach Hazlitt. The only passable route is a narrow trail with deep, rutted tracks. Suddenly, the lead Sherman triggers a German mine. The blast disables the vehicle, permanently barricading the path. Fleig has no time to clear the wreckage. He orders a tow cable strapped between a working tank and the crippled Sherman, using the destroyed tank's massive dead weight as an anchor to carefully slide a single vehicle around the obstruction. The maneuver almost pulls the working tank into a gorge, but the cable holds. Fleig climbs into the lone freed Sherman, orders his hatch locked tight, and drives blindly into the forest toward the village. The environment has done the enemy's work for them. Before engaging a single German tank, an entire American armored platoon is reduced to one solitary vehicle. Fleig's Sherman crashes through the brush and flanks the German column. He catches a Panther completely exposed at 200 yards. He fires point blank into its flank, but the round bounces off the thick, heavily sloped side armor with a dull thud. This Sherman schematic shows the upper ready rack mistakenly filled with high explosive shells, which cannot penetrate steel. The required armor-piercing shells sit in the lower sponson rack. With the gun aimed forward, the rotated turret basket creates a physical wall, blocking the loader's access. To reach the right ammo, Fleig has to give a terrifying order. He forces his gunner to rotate the turret away from the enemy Panther, right in the middle of a firefight. The concussive impacts of those high explosive hits trigger a wave of panic inside the German tank. Believing their vehicle is about to ignite, the Panther crew scrambles out of their hatches. The German commander looks back, sees no flames, and realizes the American tank is traversing its gun away. He forces his crew back inside, but that hesitation gives Fleig a handful of crucial seconds. The American loader finally yanks an armor-piercing round from the sponson rack. Now it's a mechanical drag race. The Panther's driver revs the engine to build hydraulic pressure for their turret, while the Sherman's gunner cranks his weapon back toward the enemy. The Panther gets there first. Its high-velocity shell whistles inches over Fleig's turret. That miss leaves the German side completely exposed for a brief window. Tactics and strategy have vanished. Survival in this moment is dictated entirely by which machine can rotate a few tons of steel back onto the target faster. The Sherman's gunner zeroes in and pulls the trigger. The armor-piercing shell streaks across the gap and smashes cleanly through the Panther's gun barrel, physically splitting the weapon in half. With the German tank completely defenseless, Fleig orders 2 rapid shots that rip through the hull. The Panther erupts into flames. Fleig immediately targets the advancing column, destroying 2 lighter Panzer IVs in rapid succession. At that exact moment, his remaining Shermans finally crest the hill to join the fight, forcing the surviving Germans to retreat. The German command rapidly escalates the conflict. They deploy 13 more Panthers, additional Panzer IVs, and a swarm of infantry with explicit orders to burn the village to the ground. Fleig beat the odds in a single duel, but the arrival of heavy reinforcements instantly resets the board, locking both sides back into a brutal cycle of attrition. The Americans scramble to mount a defense. Fleig's Shermans adopt a shoot-and-scoot tactic, repeatedly driving up a ridge, firing quickly, and reversing to draw the massed German fire away from the village. While the Shermans act as bait, First Lieutenant Turney W. Leonard leads a platoon of M10 tank destroyers on a wide flanking maneuver. As you can see, these M10s have open-top turrets, leaving the crews incredibly vulnerable to incoming shrapnel. The forest quickly snuffs out the flanking attempt. Leonard's M10s hit a patch of deep mud and jagged stumps. Their treads lose all traction, leaving the vehicles entirely immobilized in an open killing field. No amount of tactical planning matters here. The geography of the Hürtgen Forest actively neutralizes mobility, stripping the Americans of their primary advantage. Stranded and blind in the thick brush, Leonard climbs out of his M10. He sprints through active machine gun fire to serve as a human spotter, shouting coordinates back to his tank destroyers so they can target the hidden panzers. Up on the ridge, the sheer volume of German artillery triggers a massive mechanical failure. The concussive shockwaves from near misses slam into Fleig's Shermans, violently jamming their manual turret traverse rings. Their main guns are stuck in place. Then, a mortar shell lands directly next to Leonard, shattering his arm. Medics rush to evacuate him, but he refuses to slow his men down. He demands they leave him a rifle and run. It is the last time anyone sees him alive. Left with jammed turrets and swarming infantry, Fleig rigs a grenade to the inside of his own tank, destroying it to prevent capture. His retreating men link hands to form a blind human chain, stumbling through the pitch-black woods while mortar shells rain down around them. This visualization tracks the staggering casualty rate of the 28th Infantry Division. Of the 2,200 soldiers who marched into this battle, barely 300 walked out. The Hürtgen Forest broke down complex war machines into useless scrap, forcing the men trapped inside to rely entirely on their own endurance and sacrifice.